Part of the work of the Council of Great City School in supporting school districts and implementing Common Core is also very specific to English language learners. We're trying to model what we want districts to do. When we invite our district staff to come to any of our retreats, we really encourage them to bring teams. We had a great retreat on English language arts, and we had like 30 districts, about 30 districts, 25, 30 districts that brought teams. So they had the person responsible for English language arts, but they also had their special ed director and their ELL director. Sometimes they also had somebody that was specifically responsible for implementation of Common Core as a member of that team. And that made for very rich discussion. We actually together looked at some of the exemplars of complex text, and you had conversations of these individuals that sometimes honestly don't have time to talk to each other in our districts, whether because they're so busy working in their specific areas, or unfortunately whether it could also be because of the siloed nature of many of our districts. So we're really working hard to try to break those down, the silos. And this is where it's been very promising to bring teams. We're doing another professional development around Common Core, but again, we stress bringing teams together. And in that vein, part of what we're doing also is supporting deliberate work around English language learners. So we've been working with Lily Wong Fillmore, Marianne Kukiara, in trying to set up lab sites that would really start looking at how do you bring Common Core for ELLs, but do it to scale. We have great examples across the country of particular schools sometimes it's only a classroom. But there are very good things happening, and what we're trying to do is glean from that. How do you make that happen? You know, methodically and systemically, how do you really create that level of instruction for ELLs? One of the places we're working is in Albuquerque, where they have a significantly large percentage of English language learners, many of them third generation. They have a significant achievement gap, and so implementing Common Core and doing it right for these students is going to be critical. And in that regard, what we're trying to work is not only, again, the planning, but what are the specific things that teachers need to know to implement the Common Core. The instructional shifts that are called for in the Common Core are vast, and teachers have not been prepared. You know, if you look at the pre-service or the colleges of education, they have not trained teachers to do this. And so we're very cognizant of that and saying, okay, let's be clear about what we want teachers to know, and then let's provide that. And then provide a way of monitoring or even looking at what we expect instruction to be, letting them see that, and then emulate that and support it. And if it needs to be tweaked, then we do that. So we know we're really building the plane as we fly it. And part of what's important is that we're trying to create the feedback loops to allow us to do the course correction before you get too far down the path. And those are just, with regard to English language learners, we're being very deliberate, always connected to the larger work of Common Core, but also recognizing that we need to go a little bit deeper with ELLs.